Hey everyone, and welcome to the season finale of KnightTime. I can't believe the first season's already coming to an end, but we'll be back for the spring. UCF got a huge win in the war on I-4, and rivalry weekend certainly didn't disappoint. It's conference championship weekend, so we're here to argue about it too, and it's going to be a great show. Stay tuned. KnightTime starts now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to our season finale of the fall semester of KnightTime. Really upset about it. College football is coming to an end, but we do have a big weekend ahead of us, and we have some games to talk about. So I am joined by, of course, my lovely co-host, Kyle DeWitt. Kyle, how are you?
Always joined by my lovely co-host, Taylor Anderson, as well. But we're going to have a great last show today. I might cry. I don't know yet.
I might shed a few tears. We have some awesome guests, too. But let's go ahead and jump into the war on I-4, UCF and USF. The game came down to the last couple of seconds, ending in the Knights' favor. I think that the defense showed up well sometimes when they really needed to.
Sometimes?
Yeah. The offense, I mean, it struggled, but I mean, like I said, it ended in UCF's favor. But Kyle, what did you think about this game overall?
The biggest thing for me is that it just looked like both teams didn't want to score, but both teams were very into the game. Like, you could tell that it was rivalry weekend. You could tell that it was war on the I-4. It was probably the best top-to-bottom game that USF has actually played all year. Surprisingly, that's the most impressive that I've seen them. Like, on film, they never knew how to run the ball, didn't know how to tackle, didn't know how to do anything. But they've stayed in the ball game, and they were still there. They had a chance to win at the end of the game, and Terry McLean decided to fumble the snap on the 3-yard line on 3rd down and goal, and then take a knee, proceeding to end up for the time to run out with no timeouts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, USF had a chance to win.
I agree.
Absolutely, but, you know, we ended the season 8-4, and now we're going bowling.
I think there were many opportunities for both teams to put up more points, but there were obviously many mistakes that happened. Regardless, both teams played, like you said, like a rivalry game, which made it very entertaining. They continued to have a great run game, totaling 173 rushing yards and 1 touchdown, being led by Johnny Richardson and Mark Anthony Richards. Definitely was not a pretty game. It was not a blowout like I and most fans were hoping for. But obviously, I'm happy with another win on the war on I-4. And now I want to hop into our offensive players of this game. I mentioned him earlier, but my offensive player of the week is Johnny Richardson. In the first quarter, Johnny Richardson began making an impact. He had a 15-yard run up the middle and a key 23-yard screen pass reception and a run during a 3rd down and 9, and that set up UCF's first touchdown. I think his 42-yard run really shifted the momentum for the Knights offensive late in the game when it was getting really tense, and he really broke through when Mikey Keene needed him and showed out. So for that, he is my offensive player. Kyle, what about you?
You know, I mean, I don't think that he had the most impressive game, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to Mikey Keene. It was the final game of his true freshman season, and he didn't throw away the game. He had no turnovers, no interceptions, no fumbles, and he was a game manager. That's all we needed him to be in this game. We knew the USF couldn't put up a lot of points. Terry McLean really wasn't playing the best tonight, and, I mean, on Friday night, and their run game was non-existent. Their main running back had 21 rushing yards for 21 rushes for 93 yards. So all we needed Mikey Keene to do was not turn over the football, and that's exactly what he did. It was, I mean, he had a 17.9 QBR, awful, but no turnovers. So that's the reason why he gets my offensive player of the week.
That's very true. So moving on to defense, my bestie Alex and I were in the press box watching the game almost in tears because it just hurts sometimes when you watch. But we've seen the video a million times on social media now of the game-ending play behind it. The man is Tremon Morris-Brash. He brought down McLean when I really thought USF was going to run away with the game at the end with just like 10 seconds left. He also totaled 5 sacks, 3 of those were for a loss, and he also came away with a sack. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to Tatum Bethune for totaling 18 tackles, but that ending play sealed the deal with me for Tremon, sealing the game for us. Obviously, it was like the second runoff, and everyone was really confused at the end, but came away in our favor, so it was very nice to see. Who is your defensive player?
I just want to go in and touch on Tremont Morris-Brash real quick. He's been injured a lot this season, and he's missed probably about half our games. This is the game that he needed to boost him for next season, because he's probably going to be our main pass rusher next year, and he's going to be our main defensive lineman along Ricky Barber next year. So I'm very glad that Tremont Morris-Brash is finally back healthy, and he finally showed what he can do. My defensive player of the week, I have to look at it again. Oh, yeah, it's Ricky Barber. I just talked about Ricky Barber. He had 1.5 sacks, 1.5 tackles for loss, but yet again, there was no run game, and it was because of Ricky Barber eating up double teams, allowing linebackers, allowing Tatum Bethune to get 18 total tackles. And Ricky Barber, I think, had 5 quarterback hurries as well. Ricky Barber's going to be a special player, guys. He's only a redshirt freshman. He came from Western Kentucky. This man is going to be special. Look out for him to possibly be playing on Sundays later on in the future.
Okay, so this game's over, regular season's over. It's time to go bowling, like you said earlier.
Go bowling.
I see that the Knights and the Gators will play in the Gasparilla Bowl.
Ooh.
Obviously, it'd be a big full circle moment for me as I attended UF freshman year, and it was the worst experience of my whole entire life. Kyle, I watched on your Snapchat story all weekend that you just love UF, and I would be glad to give you my Gatorette uniform if you would like to attend that game.
No.
But that's just who I see playing. Obviously, I want UCF to win. It would just make my life complete and shut up everyone that told me I was wrong for transferring, because obviously I'm here and didn't make the wrong decision. Kyle, who do you think UCF will play?
You know, a UCF versus UF game would be very interesting. I thought we weren't going to get that until 2024, but we might get it now, which would be fantastic. But there's also a possibility that UCF might play another SEC team, an LSU in the Birmingham Bowl. That would be a great matchup too. I mean, it's a rebuilding LSU program. Ed Ogeron's last game, I mean, I still see that LSU would probably end up beating them just because they would end up rigging it just so Ed Ogeron, Coach O, gets his final win at LSU before he makes his departure. But, I mean, the only 2 possible bowl games that are being projected right now is 2 SEC opponents. Going 8-4, having Gus Malzahn going back up against the SEC, it would bring up for headlines, and I'm all for it.
I'm so for it. Another headline that broke on Saturday, Dylan Gabriel, quarterback for UCF, is entering the transfer portal. I'm friends with Dylan, so obviously it really hurts to see him leave.
Wow,
but I
so
think
cool.
No, I'm just saying they're normal people. But I obviously have no idea where he's going. But I'm saying that he's going to go to Ole Miss with Jeff Lebby. I think UCF fans need to calm down maybe a little bit on their opinions, but if that's what he thinks is best for him, then he has to do what he has to do. But I'm projecting Ole Miss. Where do you think he's going to go?
I mean, I also think he's going to go Ole Miss too, especially with Lane Kiffin and that air raid offense. But I could also see him going to Mississippi State because Will Rogers graduates, and I bet he would love to play for Mike Leach in the air raid offense because Dylan Gabriel loves his stats. But the last thing I'll say about Dylan Gabriel before he departs from UCF, I respect Dylan Gabriel for what he's doing. He knows he doesn't fit in this Gus Malzahn offense, and he wants to go ahead, and go make his money, go get his chance to go play in the NFL. We know that UCF's trending in a different direction, and he probably wasn't the future. He had 1 more year anyway. So if he wants to go to another program and go make his case to go play in the NFL, I'm all for it. Dylan, go get your bag.
Go get your bag, bro.
Go get your bag, bro.
Okay, speaking of UCF's future, I think UCF does have some good talent coming in next year. The Henderson twins will come up big on defense, and I think there will be a quarterback competition in the spring. I think this UCF team is very young, and I think between Mikey Keene and Thomas Castellanos coming in, there will be some battles. It's not going to happen overnight. UCF fans need to let go of the Milton area. It happened, it was great, but now it's time to focus and support the young talent coming in. So that's just how I feel.
Yeah, UCF has been blessed with great quarterback play the past couple of years, and now everybody's just trying to go ahead. Everybody's trying to go ahead and just get rid of Mikey Keene because he played so bad his freshman year. But Thomas Castellanos, I think he's going to end up being our starting quarterback next year. But that's all the time we have for our first segment. UCF, great season, but we got a big segment coming up. It was Conference Championship week. Let's go to commercial.
Welcome to the HTF Hot Wings Challenge. One of you guys actually do hot sauce like regularly?
No.
No.
It's like the least black thing I do.
Oh, wow, okay.
I say Johnny goes first on this one.
I agree.
Now the Buccaneers are going to play the Washington football team.
That can't happen.
It will happen.
I'm terrified.
No, I really hate it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No. You're wrong. If it wasn't for Kanye jumping up on stage and doing the "I'm gonna let you finish," but no one would know Taylor Swift.
Nitro's dump truck. And if you don't know what I'm talking about,
Why's Nitro thick?
I don't know how many squats I need to do to get up like something like that, but I will do it.
Oh! Oh my God!
Baseball, obvious reasons. Babe Ruth, if you want to go currently. I feel like that's just like a thing.
he jumped off the wall to catch the home run. We made it through all the way to the end. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome back to the season finale of Nighttime. I'm back with Taylor Anderson. I'm Kyle DeWitt, and we have Gadiel Cartagena. He is on the I completely butchered that, and I'm so sorry. I haven't practiced it so much.
Close.
You tried.
I did, but I have Gadiel on the show today. We had a lot of games on rivalry weekend that we have to talk about, and so Gadiel, man, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It was a really good weekend of football. Got some really good rivalry games, specifically on Saturday. I imagine we're probably going to be touching on a lot of those games. It was fun to watch. I had a really good time watching these games. College football, probably my favorite weekend of the regular season, and now it's conference championship week, so pretty
Agreed.
good.
It is.
Very fun weekend to watch, always my favorite, and every single game lived up to the hype. I want to start with Michigan, Ohio State. Michigan took this rivalry game with a 42-27 win in Ann Arbor. This is Jim Harbaugh's first win against Ohio State since taking over in 2015. Also Michigan's first win over Ohio State since 2011. Haskins had 5 rushing touchdowns for the Wolverines. They had 297 rushing yards, and the defense had 4 sacks and 8 tackles for a loss. Camden, Mowery, I'm so sorry, you're going to be on in a second. But Michigan really stepped up. Shout out to my friend Brevin, big Michigan fan. Man was crying all day long. But, I mean, I guess it felt good to be a Michigan fan this weekend. What did you think about it, Gadiel?
I was shocked. I did not expect Michigan to win this game. I understand they were at home. They've had a great team, but Jim Harbaugh, he has that reputation, right? He doesn't win the big game. And this is probably one of the better Ohio State teams, at least that we've seen over the last 6 games. They've been pretty good. Not perfect, but they've been pretty solid. And they dominated this game. After the second quarter, it was game over. Hassan Haskins took over this game. He scored all 5 of his touchdowns with about 3 minutes after 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Just once the ground game got going, Ohio State had no response. I was thoroughly impressed with Michigan, and I wonder if they're going to have a chance to make the playoff.
Yeah, all they got to do is beat Iowa on Saturday, and they're locked in because probably in this college football playoff that comes out on Tuesday night, it's probably going to be Michigan at number 2 because they're going to jump Cincinnati after a huge win over number 2 Ohio State. And then Alabama will be 3 and Cincinnati will be 4 going into conference championship week. But Michigan State did exactly the opposite of what they were supposed to do, and that's keep Kenneth Walker on the ground versus Ohio State. But what does Michigan do? They stick to what they were good at, and they ran the football. Hassan Haskins, I mean, he had 28 carries, 169 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 of them receiving. But that's why Michigan was able to win this football game. They kept Ohio State off the field. Michigan dominated time of possession, keep C.J. Stroud off the field, and they gave the ball to their best player. That's what Michigan State didn't do, and that's why these games turned out the way that they did. I'm proud of Jim Harbaugh for finally getting a win after 7 years against Ohio State. And I'm just glad Ohio State's out of it. I don't like Ohio State. I'm sorry, Camden.
I do like Ohio State. I like C.J. Stroud. I love their receivers.
Camden's happy to hear you
Yeah,
say
you
that.
got Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Smith and Jigba. They have some really, really good
Some
talent.
cool
So
guys.
I
I just don't like
them.
that big O, man. I really don't. Go blue for 1 week.
them.
I want Iowa to win now, but go blue for 1 week.
I'm happy. I feel like the best team won. Michigan
True.
didn't really leave any doubt, which is what I'm happy about.
Yes.
But I do enjoy the Buckeyes playing well. I can't lie. I do.
All right, guys, I want to move on to the state of Alabama. The Crimson Tide survived the first overtime game in Iron Bowl history. After 4 overtimes, Alabama won 24-22. Auburn should not have let Alabama back in the game after leading 10-0 late in the fourth quarter. I hate seeing Alabama win like this. Obviously, I was hoping for an Auburn win to shake up some rankings, but Alabama did what Alabama does, and they won the game, and Auburn let me down they've done
they
multiple
always
times.
do.
Can't really say that I'm shocked with anything, but Nick Saban did what he does best, and he went in to Auburn and took the game away. Kyle, what was your thoughts on it?
Yeah. Alabama didn't score any points till the fourth quarter, and Auburn had a backup quarterback that was on one leg, and they still almost lost this game. I mean, but John Mechie III is absolutely insane. I mean, I was slandered on Twitter because John Mechie's not their best receiver because I said Bryce Young's nothing without John Mechie. I mean, I still think that's true. But man, Auburn, I'm so disappointed in you. You've done it to me all season, and now you're 6-6 when you could easily be 9-3, and you could have easily knocked Alabama out of playoff contention. But I do want to applaud TJ Finley for playing on one leg and actually still playing. I'm not saying he played impressive, but playing as well as he did. I mean, he had a lot of those overtimes. He made some insane throws, and without Bo Nix next year or the next year after that, depending if Bo Nix goes to the draft, I don't know if he will, TJ Finley will be a pretty good replacement for him, especially when he's going to be healthy. But dang it, I wish Auburn would have won this football game. Gadiel, what's up? How you feel?
I'm happy that Alabama won just because I think it makes the SEC Championship a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
This felt like the game that Bama needed to lose, and I'm kind of scared that they might actually end up making it a game against Georgia, because I've never seen a Nick Saban team play bad 2 weeks in a row. Especially in big games, they show up. So I'm intrigued to see what this does for Bama. Maybe this is a bit of like a rallying cry. Things start to turn around for them a little bit because they haven't been perfect. But I was disappointed with Bama throughout the entire game, and then simultaneously impressed with Bryce Young at the end of the game, because when his team needed him to show up, he was actually able to do so. For being a young quarterback in one of his first spots like that, I have to say, I was impressed with Bryce Young. I'm excited to see him this weekend against Georgia.
The biggest games of the year, that's when Bryce Young hasn't really showed up. He showed up at the end of the game, but for 3 3/4 quarters, he didn't show up. So, I mean, now he's going against the best defense in the country, hands down, allowing 6.3 points per game. That is insane. Yeah. That's an insane stat, 6.3 points per game Georgia's allowing.
We are going to get to the championship games in just a bit, but I want to move on to Oklahoma State. Cowboys won Bedlam for the first time since 2014, 37-33, advancing them to the Big 12 Championship. Sanders turned over the ball twice, but threw for 214 yards, rushed for 93 yards, and had 2 touchdowns for the Cowboys. Oklahoma had a bit more magic left. Williams took off 56 yards late in the fourth quarter, setting up a throw into the end zone with 10 seconds remaining, but Colin Oliver grabbed Williams' ankles, sacked him on the 4th down, and preserved the Oklahoma State victory. Another game living up to the hype. It was talked about all weekend long. These games were just really fun to watch this weekend. What did you think about Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, Kyle?
I'm just glad that Oklahoma lost again. Lincoln Riley decided to jump ship the day after the game was over. He realized that his team isn't going to go anywhere, and they're going to the SEC in 3 years. So Lincoln Riley, new head coach at USC, breaking news. But this game, I mean, Oklahoma State really showed off their defense. Their defense really struggled the first 3 quarters, and then they held Oklahoma scoreless in the 4th quarter. Caleb Williams, he had a great game, but then that 4th quarter, he didn't decide to show up, and he showed how much of a freshman he was. So now Oklahoma State's got to do is get a win on Saturday, and they're most likely in the playoff. Who would have thought Oklahoma State would have made the playoff if they win this weekend?
Alex Funderburk did, because Alex Funderburk's actually never wrong.
You are correct about that.
Yeah.
So
he did predict it a few weeks ago. So yeah, credit to Alex Funderburk. He was right about Oklahoma State. They are a really, really good football team.
Yes, they are. They are complete.
And I wonder if they can maybe give, like if they make it to the 3rd seed, if they can give that 2 seed a problem. I don't believe they'd be able to beat a team like Georgia, but it feels like it's anyone's game outside of Georgia. So I'm excited to see Oklahoma State get a chance. Hopefully they pull it off against Baylor.
Okay, super fast. I want to touch on one last game, NC State and UNC. 2 touchdowns in 26 seconds helped the NC State Wolfpack take down the UNC Tar Heels. Wolfpack jumped out to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter, but looked dead for much of the night, managing just 7 points in the second and third quarters. Again, another close game down to the last couple of seconds. Gadiel, what did you think about this game?
ACC football, honestly, I'm pretty disinterested by them.
Yeah,
at this
me
point.
too.
Like, if it's not Clemson at the peak of its power, honestly, I don't care that much. I think it's Pitt against Wake Forest.
Yep.
I hope the better team wins that game and they play in their bowl game and they have fun. But I don't really care so much about the ACC. Good for, I believe it was UNC that won the game?
Yeah.
NC
State.
Oh, wow.
See, he didn't even know who won the game. That's how
Yeah.
disinterested he was.
Seriously, it was good for them. Credit to NC State. They're going to finish ranked. Congratulations.
Sick.
I love UNC slander. Man, I've done a lot of hate this segment. I don't know why, but I'm always down for
It's
UNC
Monday.
hate.
Mondays.
I know that Sam Howell, he's now dropped to the 5th quarterback prospect in the Mel Kiper ratings for a reason, because all he can do is run the football. He has not been able to pass the football all season. Credit to UNC for choking another game. They've now choked 5 games out of their 5 losses. Yeah, all 5 losses they've had the lead and they choked. So But no more UNC slander. We're going to be back for primetime picks, and Camden Mowery is going to join the show, so stay tuned.
Because I am a New York Giants fan and I want my first pick of the week to be my team. I see an upset for the New York Giants this Sunday. Bet your entire savings, and I'm telling you right now, they're gonna win. I don't care what you say. It's gonna happen.
I'm going to go Yankees 4-1. I think Garrett Cole's going to give them 7 shutout. It's Garrett Cole. I trust him in this type of situation.
2-1 pitch.
The Yankees lost to Boston in the wild card game, and I told Johnny if my boys lose, I'd come on the show in this.
I have to go with the Raiders, I think, for this one. I don't see them losing.
Welcome back. It is now time for our primetime picks of the week, the best segment. I'm currently doing awful, standing at 16-10, Oklahoma State and Texas. I'm going Texas 35-27.
UCF keeps the 30 points per game streak alive. I'm going to go 35-10. UCF wins.
Welcome back to a special edition of Primetime Picks, Championship Football Edition. Go Big Blue. We're joined by Camden Mowery, our biggest Michigan fan. Camden, I'm so sorry. How are you?
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. I could go in depth, but I'm not going to. I'd rather root for no other team. I'm happy to be a Buckeye. I mean, OH, hopefully win the Rose Bowl if we're in it.
We just had to get you for a second. But we're going to go ahead and jump in to the SEC Championship, Georgia and Bama. Alabama's coming off an overtime victory against Auburn and will find it difficult to make any good drives against a Georgia defense that is allowing an average of only 212 yards per game and total offense of 7.5 points per game. I'm going the Georgia Bulldogs 31-20. Kyle, what about you?
Yeah, I got to go Georgia too. I'm going to go in and give it 27-17. I don't think Bryce Young's going to perform well in this game. I know Nick Saban will have him ready, but he won't. Camden.
I think you guys have this game too close. I think Alabama's still going to score more than 6.7, but give me Georgia 38-10. I think they're going to blow them out.
Okay, we'll see. All right, the Big 12 Championship, Oklahoma State and Baylor. Both teams are solid defensively and feature the run game, but I have the Cowboys winning 27-24. Kyle?
I'm going to go with the safe pick. I'm going to go and pick Oklahoma State. I think they're way more complete. Baylor is a little bit more flashy, but Oklahoma's just better in all three. Oklahoma State's better in all three phases of the game. Go and give me Oklahoma State 31-28.
You know what? I'm going to be interesting here. Let's go Baylor. I'm rooting for chaos in this college football year. I think Oklahoma State's good, but if all these teams lose, Ohio State could still sneak in. Yes, I'm in denial. Baylor 30-20.
I will say it is really hard to beat a team twice, and Oklahoma State already beat Baylor, so
True.
I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, probably the most boring game, the ACC Championship, Pitt versus Wake Forest. I think Pittsburgh is holding opponents to an average of only 24 points per game, and the Panthers' offense is 9th in the nation scoring. So I'm going to go Pitt 28-24.
Yeah, I mean, this is the battle of two of the most exciting quarterbacks in college football, besides the rest of the team being horrible, both other teams being horrible. So I like Kenny Pickett more than Sam Hartman right now, so I'm going to go ahead and pick Pitt to beat Wake Forest 54-49.
Wow, no defense going to be played there. You know what? I'll disagree with both of you again. I've been a Wake Forest homer all year. I think they're having a great season. Let's go Wake, all right? High scoring, of course, 38-34.
Ohio State loses once, and this man just goes chaotic.
I got to come back in primetime picks. I'm sick of losing these games now.
Okay,
So this is the week to do it, I guess.
All right, Pac12, Utah versus Oregon. Utah dominated the meeting during the regular season by a 38-7 final score, but I think the Ducks will be motivated to make amends for that performance, and I like their chances to pull off the upset. Alex is shaking my head, but probably this will be my pick that I obviously get wrong. I'm going to go Oregon 30-27.
Man, I actually really like the pick because, like I said earlier, it's really hard to beat a team twice, and Utah's not at home. It's at a neutral site game. But I'm still going to go Utah. I think that they're a better team. I think Oregon was very overrated all year long. I think they had a very lucky win at the shoe. So, I mean, I'm going to go take Utah 27-10.
Alex Funderburg's looking at me out of the corner of my eye right now, laughing at me. Haha, your team lost. You're right, though. It is hard to beat a team twice. Ask Ohio State a couple years ago with Wisconsin. I'm going to go Utah as well, but closer. 34-31.
All right, Camden, I know you wish another team was in this championship game, but Big Ten, Michigan and Iowa. Michigan is going to be coming off a big win against Ohio State and have the momentum to take the running game down to the Hawkeyes. I think Wolverines come away 31-20.
Man, I really want to pick Iowa in this game for the chaos. I think it'd be hilarious. But Iowa has no offense at all. They barely snuck into this championship game. They don't deserve to be here. Going to give me Michigan 34-17.
Kyle, you don't think I want to pick Iowa too? It pains me to have to pick this game, but you know
Go
what?
Blue!
This is
Go
gonna be,
Blue!
Say it, just say it.
This is going to be peak of nap time right now. They're going to score a total of 15 points in this game. I think Michigan will win this game something like 9-7. It's going to be a snoozer. It's going to be boring.
It's going to be snowing.
It's going to make me sad. It's not going to snow. It's Lucas Oil Stadium.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
All right.
Oh, my gosh. Why do I always do this, bro?
Anywho, I won't correct you on the score like last week. I was wrong on that. But, yeah, I'll take Michigan 9-7.
All right, our last game, the AAC Championship. Obviously, our own UCF Knights are not in it, but it's Houston and Cincinnati. I don't think Houston will mess up their undefeated record whatsoever. I have Cincinnati winning 45-21.
Yeah, Cincinnati, absolute blowout. I think that they end up killing Houston, and they secure their spot in the playoff. I'll go ahead and take Cincinnati 31-17.
I want Cincinnati to win. I don't know if Cincinnati's going to win, but I'm going to pick Cincinnati to win 30-27. I feel like Houston can get a lead here, and it's going to look scary, but Cincinnati will pull it off in the end.
All right.
All right, guys, so that is the end of this episode of Nighttime and the final episode of our fall semester. I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been involved this semester, our producer, Johnny Jackson, my best friend forever. I love everyone here at Hitting the Field. I'm so glad with everything that we've accomplished this season. It's been a pleasure working with Kyle, Camden, and everyone behind the scenes, and all of our guest hosts. Obviously, hopefully next semester, what I hope to improve on is PrimeTime Picks. But thank you guys for watching. Kyle, what do you think?
Yeah. I want to go ahead and say a special thank you to Johnny Jackson because the amount of things that he's done for me this semester, learning and growing, especially in a graphics department sense and how to be on camera, has been insane. I love you, Johnny Jackson. You're my best friend.
I'm gonna cry.
And everyone in the control room, I appreciate all of you too. You guys have done so much for this show. And a big shout out, because he's still on the show for the end, Camden Mowery. This guy has done so much for this show, done so many highlights. He's helped make all these shows happen. I appreciate all of you guys, and also I appreciate Austin Walker, head production guy in there.
Go Bestie.
Big guy.
Do I get to go next?
Yeah, go Camden.
Yeah, go for it.
When I
dude.
started my first week here at Hitting the Field, it was the first week of Nighttime. I had no idea anybody's names except for like Kyle and Grant in there, but I was doing playback for this show, and I was like, you guys have a show about college football? This is my dream, and you guys are letting me live it. You guys are letting me on this show as much as I pretty much want. I mean, it has been awesome to get to work with you guys. Thank you, everyone in the production room, getting everything done. I mean, you guys are all great. Kyle, Taylor, you guys are the best.
Aww. Camden is the best.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in this semester. 12 episodes deep. And we're going to be 13, 14 episodes deep next semester talking about college basketball. So stay tuned, guys. Nighttime crew, signing out.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings